What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Live Fam Game. Now today, bro, we got this one vid. It popped up on my recommendation page and I had to check it out. It's called 1000 Ants versus Centipede. Now the thumbnail looked pretty enticing, and it's by this channel named Frog made this, and I guess this guy is literally dressed as a frog, and that's like the whole channel. It's actually a pretty new channel. I think it only has 2 videos, and this is the second one, and it went pretty viral, so kind of gives me like Terra Green vibes and stuff like that. So without further ado, make sure you grab your popcorn. Let's see.
This is 1000 ants in captivity, and in this clip, I'm holding a venomous Mediterranean centipede.
Oh,
so
hell no.
The question is, could a single venomous centipede survive against an army of 1000 ants, or would the ants slowly bring it down with nothing but numbers? Well,
now we watched a bunch of ant content by this point in time, and I think we are educated to know that the centipede has no chance. And it really just depends though. Like, I mean, I guess it could probably pave a way for itself to get out because of the poisonous attributes of it, but if the ants are rallying up on him from every single side and shit, we know how that goes, chat. These ants are ruthless. Even if some take the hit, they die from the poison and stuff. I mean, 1000 ants. That's a lot, dude. Shit, I would be scared to be covered from that, and I'm a full human.
This video, I'm gonna test that alongside a tons of different scenarios to see just how capable ants really are. The problem is, the 1000 Camponotus ants we have don't really like to be filmed under bright lights. So we're just gonna have to order a different species of ants.
God damn, my nigga. Anthill Habit. See, I gotta search up these websites to see if it's real. Anthill habitats. Let's go search that up. Let's see if I can order some ants. Okay, I tried searching anthill habitats. I can't really find it, but I also don't know like the exact URL. So
it's gonna have to order
really
a different species of ants. And while this is not going to be cheap, but because I saved on delivery, it actually took a full week for the ants to arrive to my doorstep. And guys, I think the ants
yeah, so as you can see, he literally wears a frog mask, bro. That's insane.
Are inside of this box. Let's see.
Is he gonna test himself against the ants since technically he's an animal?
The ants are inside of this box. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a lot of ants. And if you look close, these are harvester ants, which amazingly are equipped with one of the most painful ant stings in North America and humongous mandibles, meaning the ants will have a big chance of fighting off potential predators.
Yeah, you see, I was taking the ants if they were just regular, bro. But these motherfuckers, they're even more stronger than what I had in mind. So yeah, I think this motherfucker cooked.
Will that be enough to beat the centipede? Well, we're just gonna have to find out.
Let's see.
Before we can do anything with the 1000 ants we just bought, the ants are going to need a nest, since there's a bunch of things planned for them, going from easy to medium to extremely hard. So let's go ahead and start building the ant nest. And for that, let's just use an aquarium I have laying around and that we're going to slightly modify. And by modify, I mean drill a hole in the aquarium. Oh yeah, look at that, it turned out perfect.
That's a perfect hole, man.
We just drilled to connect a tube to the nest that later on will be used to let the ants leave the nest for all of the different tasks.
Usually how they do it.
But with the aquarium ready, let's quickly add the sand and press it in so that the ants can
why does it look like Play-Doh?
Really build up the nest. So now it's finally time to release the 1000 harvester ants into the aquarium. And although everything seemed normal at the moment, we were oblivious to the fact that we completely forgot to prep the walls of the nest. And within moments we had a disaster.
Oh hell no. That's when you get the flamethrower and be like these. Yeah, it is what it is, bro. We gotta order some new ants. Hell no, they not gonna be all across my house like these.
Amount of ants escaping. So we had to fix this very carefully and very fast, since having a bunch of very venomous ants roaming the
and they're venomous too. They got bites and shit. Oh nah, if this escapes and somehow one of them escape to your room or something, you're gonna be waking up with very hard pinches, bro. Yeah, this dream is real.
Room was a terrible thing, so all we could do is paint the wall with baby powder and pray none of the ants escape too far. And luckily for us, the crisis was successfully averted and none of the ants escaped. So next up, all we had to do is wait for the ants to start building their nest, which
basically, if you don't understand what they did, it made it so that when the ants go up there, they start slipping down, chat, so they can't like actually climb out of the box.
They began to do immediately. So now that we have the
I believe it's slip. It's not like they don't get stuck, because he don't want a whole bunch of them getting stuck. It's the slip.
Ants actually digging up the nest, we're gonna have to give them some water so that they don't dehydrate. Because for the next couple of days, all the ants will be doing is hard labor. Since if you look close enough, the ants move tiny bits of the sand one piece at a time. A process that is definitely tiring and time consuming.
I say I'm gonna order a whole bunch of ants to do some labor on my backyard, bro.
These are fascinating creatures. Within just a day or two, they had completely transformed the aquarium into an intricate network of tunnels tunnels, complete with massive
So
underground
cool.
chambers, all by working together as a perfectly coordinated team. And they moved
Bro, ants are so fucking smart. Like, every time they do this, it don't matter what habitat they're in, they're gonna find a way to make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna find a way to make tunnels and work together to do it as well. Because you gotta know a certain system that you can't just be Dumb and Dumber #2 trying to build these tunnels, bro. No, they know, okay, somebody's going in to get this one piece. Let me go in to get the other. Let me go in to get the other. And then they all, you know, bring it to around kind of the same spot. They build little humps of dirt too for specific purposes. And it's just crazy. Like, they just work together so seamlessly.
understand that they ended up burying the water tube we had given them. But that means the ants are finally ready for their first challenge, taking on the Venus flytrap, an apex predator of the plant world. It may look harmless at first glance, but it has evolved into
They
one
choke
of
you
nature's
out.
most efficient killers. Hidden
Damn.
inside are tiny trigger
Yep.
hairs, and the moment anything touches them, the trap rapidly closes and starts digesting the insect, eventually leaving
Bro, I wonder, does this hurt, bro?
them.
Look at these things right here.
The trap rapidly
They like
closes
freaking, they like bend. That doesn't hurt them. Like, if one of these just rip off.
and starts digesting the
Since it's
insect,
technically alive.
eventually leaving behind nothing but an empty shell to be carried away by the wind. So why on earth
Yeah, we learned about these in a different video. So they crush them, but not only that, but they like suck the life out of them because they start releasing enzymes to freaking basically degrade them.
are we putting the ants through this? Well, the goal
Degrade their whole bodies.
is simple. Train them to recognize and avoid danger. Since finding the centipede, well, that's not gonna be easy, and they're gonna need all the training they can get. So we began by placing some seeds into several of the Venus flytraps, since in nature seeds are the main source of food for harvester ants. And
Oh,
their
okay.
mission is going to be carefully retrieving the seed and carrying it safely back to the nest. So can they do this?
We'll see.
Let's find out. Here you can
Yo, if the harvester ants has a little YN jit, if you guys know, you know the lore, you know who YN jit is. Yeah, you've been around for a while, but I can just imagine this motherfucker just be like, like also Spider-Man shit, bro, just holding the freaking mouth open when it tries to clamp on him.
see the very first explorer and setting off to investigate the brand new world we had just built for the colony. And
YN
within
Jit number
moments,
2?
he had already wandered over to the Venus flytraps to check them out. But somehow he completely avoided the dangerous plant and just kept exploring like nothing was there, while more and more ants were starting to reach the challenge
Damn.
through the entrance. And just like
Bro, just do a backflip right now. Look at him.
ants were starting to reach the
Hey, yo, he's just trying to do some parkour, showing off for the camera, bro. Get your ugly.
the challenge through the entrance. And just like that, we had our first two explorers, Beep and Bob, start the challenge.
Beep and Bob.
Suddenly, Beep noticed a seed inside the flytrap, but he had
Oh.
no idea he was already making a fatal mistake.
Damn,
Unfortunately
he's
for
cooked.
Beep, he'll become nutrients for the plant, while the rest of
Yo.
the colony hopefully learns from his mistake.
Beep,
Shortly
boop, bop.
after that, we had another ant interested in the Venus flytrap.
Oh, you're
but
cooked.
the thing is, this flytrap was empty, and what the ant was actually interested in is the nectar that the Venus flytrap produces to attract
Yeah.
insects. However,
That's another thing I forgot about it too. It literally leaks off juices that are good.
it seems the ants are learning a thing or two, and he left the trap safely, something I hoped would happen with the rest of the ants. And as time was flowing, the ants were starting to get comfortable around the Venus flytraps, which only meant it was a matter of time before these ants succeed. But then we spotted one of the bravest ants yet, casually walking all over the flytraps. Either he was fearless or he had absolutely no idea how dangerous the plant actually was.
I say it's the latter. He has no idea.
And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the ant was actually trying to pick up the seed. Okay, maybe we had made this challenge a little
He tried to pick up the seed and became one, dog.
too difficult. Every time an ant tried to grab the seed, it would rush against the trigger hairs, causing the trap
It's
to
too
snap
much.
shut and turn the unfortunate
Cause they literally go right into the middle of it, bro. Like I remember one time, bro, what were we watching about these Venus flytraps? But some of them were able to escape. I think it was like, what's it, crickets or something? I think it was, bro. And they were like kind of outside a little bit, and they were able to just escape and wiggle their way out. But dude, if you go like perfectly in the middle of these things, it's cooked.
ant
It's
into
cookie on 'em.
nutrients. And trust me, we were ready to give up and move on to the next challenge. But something about this flytrap was different. Sure enough, only a few moments after setting up the camera, another ant climbed inside to inspect the seed. Somehow, despite walking all over the trap, it managed to avoid triggering it. And after struggling to get a good grip, the ant finally picked up the seed and walked right out of the flytrap without a single scratch. It immediately raced
Nice.
through the tube all the way back to the nest, completing the very first challenge.
Nah, bro has to feel like him, bro. He saw all his family members die, like, nope, I ain't scared of this shit. And I got the seed, boy. Yo, what's up? Everybody go eat my seed. Pause.
Our colony and earning everyone a well-deserved reward, which means we can now move on to the next challenge, the Tightrope of Zeus. Yep, that's right. The second challenge is this thing.
Oh, they gotta walk across.
To walk across this extremely narrow tightrope over a lake of acidic water. Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Bro.
That would probably be illegal. It's just normal water. However, if the ants do manage to fall, they will end up swimming in this lake, which could result in them drowning. But ants are known to be good swimmers.
Yeah, I was about to say, they're usually good swimmers.
Even built floating rafts just to survive a flood. So this challenge was going to be very interesting. And well, to complete it, all the ants have to do is just walk over the thread like...
Another thing I think they would do too, if they see like a couple of them in the water, they would probably make like a little a rope to lift other ants up.
It's just another Monday, grab a seed of their choice, and walk all the way back to the ants' nest. So can they complete this challenge? Well, let's find out. But before we get to that, if you're watching this video in the first couple of months of its release, you still have a chance to subscribe before we hit 1 million subscribers. You see, ever since we were kids, my cousin and I have always dreamed of doing this together.
2 frogs?
If you want to help us in making our childhood dream come true, please consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot.
Okay, all your knees with frog masks on is crazy, my boy. But you know what? Yeah, go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna like this video though, because this is already dope.
Now back to our second challenge. We already had our first ant roaming around the starting point, and its very first objective was simple: find the thread, which I'm assuming should...
Hey, that ant got a BBL on it, I'll tell you that.
Take that long since there's nothing else on the platform. But nonetheless, ants were starting to enter the second training camp, and I was interested to see if the ants can actually walk on the thread. But that's still something we're gonna have to discover, because for some reason the ants were just completely ignoring the thread. Not only that, but one of them actually managed to fall into the water in the first couple of minutes of this challenge. And what's interesting is that the ant isn't actually drowning. If you look close enough, you can actually see that the ant is trying to swim.
Yeah, it is, and it kind of looks like it's floating on the water too, bro.
Considering these are my pets, I decided to help out the ant by pulling it out of the water. And then my cousin was trying to show the ant where to go, but the ant had different...
I don't think they're listening to me.
...plans, and it just jumped back into the water. But not to worry, Baloney was...
Yo, it was a hot day, man. You know, they're just trying to take a little swim.
Was the chosen one. He immediately figured out where to go, and just like that, the chosen one failed. Honestly, we had no idea why the ants were struggling that much to find the thread until we stumbled across something.
They keep slipping too.
Very interesting. As it turns out, ants don't actually have perfect vision. In fact, they see the world very blurry, relying mostly on movement and changes in light to navigate. So with that in mind, we helped the colony learn exactly where the thread was.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know that. Or maybe I forgot about it. Maybe we learned about it before. I just forgot. We haven't watched ant videos in a minute, so I probably have learned about it and just forgot. But it just doesn't click on my head like, oh, wait, ants actually don't have good vision like that? I would think they had like superior vision, to be honest. I feel like they always know where they're going, but I guess it kind of makes sense in terms of like just the randomness that they move in. But I guess, you know, I thought that they had really good vision because whenever they're in colonies and shit, whenever they're moving to a certain spot, like they're all just intact, bro. You would think they're fucking marching like these with how, you know, intact they are.
And just like that, the ant understood where to go. Slowly but surely, it was making progress, carefully walking all over the water lake. And honestly, this was amazing to watch in real life. I mean, to see the ant finally reach the other side was great. So now the easy part was officially over, and next up came the real challenge.
Bro, imagine you just like fell right when he got to the end right here.
The ant had to grab a seed and take it back home, which on paper sounds easy, but who knows what's going on inside of that tiny brain. However,
that's true, and it's gonna be heavy, bro. Like trying to walk back on the string and carry this would be pretty hard.
The longer we watched, the more it seemed like the ant was carefully picking the perfect seed. So we waited, just carefully watching.
It is going through them, huh?
Yeah, it left.
Oh, damn.
But moments later...
You said, yeah, all these shit's ass, twin. Either that or it knew it wasn't gonna be able to get back.
Later, the ant was back, and this time it was most definitely choosing the right seed. But before taking it back to the colony, it stopped to groom itself. And it might even seem like a strange time to do this. But remember when I mentioned that ants don't have perfect vision? Well, that's because their antennae are their most important tool, and they use them for almost everything they do. So keeping them clean is essential, which meant this ant was doing everything exactly right. However...
Okay, so it's preparing itself to be able able to have no blockage, no nothing that gets in the way of the antennas feeling exactly where to go because it knows that it's about to complete a hard task right now.
It decided to leave without grabbing anything, but instead it was soaking the thread with a chemical trail. And not only that, but it was also sharing the information it gathered with the rest. So at that point, I was certain that soon enough we'll see one of the ants complete this challenge.
Bro's like, yeah, y'all can do this, man. I'm too tired for this shit.
The more ants climbed onto the platform, the more we had to keep a close eye on them so that we wouldn't miss the big moment. And then it finally happened. One of the ants picked up a piece of food and began carrying it back home. And although it got a bit lost in the way, it still managed to find the right path back to the thread. And since...
Yo, I'm actually impressed that it didn't fall, bro. Because I'm seeing the ants fall with holding nothing. And this motherfucker got a whole seed in his mouth and he still didn't fall.
And since this was a special little ant, we named him Michael. And Michael's task was not easy. It seemed like he was struggling to keep his balance because the piece of food he was carrying wasn't tiny. And despite getting so close to the finish line, Michael still...
Another thing we learned too is that remember, ants are actually strong as fuck. Like they can carry things like 100 times their body weight or something like that.
Line, Michael still had to fight his way through, forcing every bit of strength he had to keep moving forward.
He keeps going.
He pulled through and
Yo, W. Michael. Nah, he's actually a trooper. You could tell it was struggling so much, falling back and forth, and it just kept going, bro.
Completed the challenge like an absolute champion, earning the colony some extra food, but also bringing the ants one step closer to being ready for the final boss, Centipede. However, before they can face their final opponent, there was one more challenge left, and that of course is 1,000 mealworms. Yep, we definitely counted them. And this time there's gonna be a time limit and a special arena for the ants to fight in. I'll explain a bit more while we drop all 1,000 mealworms into this enclosure. And what we wanted to see is if the ants can actually hunt down their own prey. Since up until this point, we've been training the ants to do everything else except hunting. So for this challenge, we're giving the ants 1 hour to defeat as many mealworms as they can. And
oh yeah, these mealworms stand no chance, bro. I mean, how are they really gonna defend themselves other than wiggling like these?
Let me tell you something, the ants weren't messing around. Immediately, they started attacking anything that was moving. And although the sheer number of mealworms would probably scare anyone, the ants
shit, it's scaring me just looking at it.
Didn't run. In fact, the ones trying to escape were the mealworms, and they were doing so while being bitten and stung by the ants. And slowly, the giant pile of worms started to spread out, making it even easier for the ants to surround them. But even the mealworms...
Oh my god, there's actually a war in this bit, bro. Look at them.
...started to spread out, making it even
like get up, don't let them get away.
Easier for the ants to surround them. But even the mealworms that were still packed together didn't stand much of a chance. The ants were literally just walking all over them like this was not even a threat. And after just a few minutes of watching, I finally noticed the first mealworm that had actually been injured. You can see some of the white fluid leaking from its body. This is actually hemolymph, which is basically the insect equivalent of blood. So every ant attacking a mealworm would eventually penetrate the skin and injure it. But I noticed something else. Even the worms that were in the middle of transforming into pupae weren't being ignored. And one of the ants was repeatedly stinging it, trying to immobilize it. But for some weird reason, the venom was not working on the mealworm. Not only that, some even managed to escape the danger and were just wandering around the arena.
What the heck? How did the venom not work on them though?
Just wandering around the arena. Psych! The ants were not about to let anyone escape. And that's where things got even more interesting.
Yo, bro's holding on to him like he's bull riding right now, bro. He's like, you're not getting anywhere, bitch.
Ants were not about to let anyone escape. And that's where things got even more interesting. The ants started trying to pick up the mealworms and maybe carry them back to the nest. Which honestly,
no, they trying to WWE slam that bitch ass nigga. Like, boom. Yo, they really try to slam them.
Very hard to believe that this was even possible. I mean, a full mealworm is so much bigger than a single ant. So I think a single ant would really struggle to move a mealworm on its own. But little did I know, ants are capable of carrying objects many times heavier than their own bodies.
That's exactly what I was saying. Ants are so fucking strong for no damn reason.
So maybe, just maybe, this could be possible. Especially since there were other ants coming in to help, giving them an even better chance of success.
Oh my god.
But the mealworm wasn't about to give up.
Yeah, the mealworms, they're not giving up though. They trying to wiggle their way out the situation. No pun intended.
Struggling and wiggling around. Because for it, this wasn't just a challenge. It was a matter of survival. And if it kept fighting hard enough, maybe the ants would just give up. However, for this mealworm, this wasn't the case. The ant had a mission, bring back the feed.
Bro, ants want smoke like this. Especially these motherfuckers. Yeah, they live for this shit. they died for this shit. You feel me? Like they is not finna let up until you cooked completely.
To the nest, and no matter how slippery the tube was, the ant wasn't giving up.
Wow.
It kept slipping and falling and getting back on track to feed the colony. And no matter how hard it tried, it fell again and again and again. But then something changed in the way.
Bro, the persistence of ants too, bro. Like, you know how much of a rage bait that would be for most people and most animals and shit? And they'd probably just give up. Nah, this motherfucker's trying to go because he knows if he gets this much food to his colony, that's a lot of food.
Then something changed in the way it was gripping the mealworm. And this was the first time the ants were so close to completing the mission. With only 17 minutes left on the clock, the ants started working as a team.
As a team,
I was very interested to see what would happen with the mealworm that is still alive, by the way, in the middle of the nest full of ants. And as expected, they gave it no chance. But the mealworm fought with every last ounce.
Bro, hey, mealworms are strong though, because they whipping around crazy. They trying to escape as much as they can. Like, they not just laying down.
Of strength it had until eventually it disappeared into the darkness of the sand. But the ants still had 15 minutes left on the clock, and they were not slowing down. They continued bringing mealworm after mealworm after mealworm, working as a team, giving us the ultimate answer that they were ready for the centipede. And as
they definitely
the timer
ready.
struck 0,
that centipede looks so nasty.
the ants pulled the last mealworm. So their training was now complete. They had learned to recognize danger, they had proven their agility, and they had shown us just how well they could work together as a
they actually getting trained for war right now. This is actually a good progression.
Colony. So without wasting any more time, they were ready for the boss centipede.
The boss fight.
And we decided to give them yet another arena specifically for this fight. And as you can see, the ants are already familiar with the terrain, and there's a bunch of them just roaming around waiting for food. But they still have the freedom to leave the arena at any given moment. So if the ants will fight the centipede, that is by choice. And that is because this fight will be very, very hard.
Yeah, low key, especially I feel like the ants would do better in more of an open space. Like if the centipede ended up going back to their home, they have a better chance. Because now with this, I don't know if it gives them a better or worse chance. I just feel like they need more space to kind of move around, especially with how big the centipede is, bro. If the mealworms were like whipping around and shit, imagine what the centipede could be doing. That could cause a lot more damage than those mealworms.
Very, very hard. But forget all of that. Look at the centipede, guys. Yeah. That is actually scary.
That's really
I shouldn't
scary.
be holding this. And the reason it's scary is because the centipede is venomous, meaning it's designed to cause intense pain. And we're going to be releasing it into 1,000 ants to see how exactly they will deal with such a dangerous arthropod. And there you go. The fight begins right now with the centipede running all over the place like a
like a crazy maniac for real, bro. He wants all the smoke. He's like, who wants to fight next? Come on, man. I've been waiting for this. I'm on crack.
Crazy maniac. But we were training the ants exactly for this moment. And although it looks like the centipede is just trying to run away, if you look close enough, the ants are already swarming it. And the centipede is starting to slow down. However, that doesn't mean it will not fight back. Because at the moment, it's just searching for a way to avoid.
Yeah, right now, it's not even really paying attention. And it doesn't, it's not aware of the danger that is potentially in right now. You know, it's just like, wait, where the fuck am I? I don't want to be here, bro. Let me get out. Because you can see it's just trying to climb up. It's not really doing any attacking moves.
Fighting, whereas the ants are already trying to deal damage. And by the looks of it, they're kind of succeeding. And we can see that there's a bunch of ants attacking it at the same time. There's at least 30 right now climbing on it, biting it, and stinging it. So if the centipede doesn't change its strategy, it's going to lose. And when I actually started to feel bad for it, it struck back.
Gosh.
And yeah, what you're seeing over there is...
Now it's like, all right, man, stop this shit. It's like, it was like, you know, when your little siblings or your little cousins start messing with you, they start like play fighting with you, and you're like, and then they punch you a little too hard, and you're like, oh, hell nah, buddy. Send them to the next house.
Venom being injected into the ant, which means it's definitely going to die. And up until this moment, we really wanted the ants to succeed. But the longer we observed the centipede, the more we understood the mistake we made. The centipede was killing off our pet ants one by one. And no matter how many ants were swarming it, it felt like they didn't do any damage. Whereas
Yeah, because I feel like this centipede looks like it got fucking armor on it, bro. Like, it looks like it literally got armor. And the legs, I'm sure it doesn't feel that much pain or something in them. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's getting affected by all their bites and stings and shit. It's just getting annoyed. Like, it's like something's tickling them too much. They're like, all right, I'm gonna just bite your ass, bro.
Time the centipede striked, we would lose an ant. So we decided enough was enough and pulled the centipede out of the arena. But unfortunately, a few of the ants were holding
They still
onto
hold
it.
it on,
so at
bro.
that point, all we could do is watch the centipede annihilate the ants. And honestly, it didn't even take that long before it finished off the final ant.
What? Oh my god. Yo, I thought the ants were gonna clap this motherfucker, but this centipede is way more scarier than I thought. It's way more scary. Yo, oh hell no.
And the centipede was so much stronger, meaning the ant.
Yeah, that makes sense though. It's like, okay, at a certain point, it's just too damn strong, you know? Like ants are strong and they're strong together, but I think he's gonna need like 10,000 ants instead of 1,000.
Ants weren't ready. So next time we'll train them even better.
You gotta have them start lifting weights and shit like these. So they can get even more stronger. Yo, this was a W video though. This was actually a tough video. Like I love the progressions that they went through. Plus that centipede fight. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I'm always just not trying to count the ants out because they always be doing things that you couldn't really think of. But in this case, the centipede was just way too strong, bro. It was way too strong and it literally had fucking armor on its skin. So none of the bites, none of the shit was working. So hey, it is what it is. Let me know any other videos you guys want to react to and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.